The story begins with the Kendo master welcoming the students to his club. He inquires about several basic matters, and then the protagonist, Honda, remarks that the hakama is too long for him. The instructor responds that the advisor should have a spare. He runs to the staff room, and the instructor instructs him to at least wear his pants, but he completely ignores the warning. In the hallway, the girl named Yukari feels delighted that she and her friend will be together. The other one, Mako Wakamiya, comments that she looks forward to it. Yukari observes that she is wearing her hair down, and she replies that she believes it suits the calm demeanor of a high schooler. Yukari informs her that a caterpillar clung to her back, and she panics. While she attempts to get it off, Honda appears, and they both glance at each other, thinking he is the strangest person they have seen all day. It is not long before the cherry blossom season ends, and the first years engage in their club activities. They take their first midterms, and it is finally at a point where they can catch a breather. The moral committee head encourages them to hang out because it is an important time. Mako feels excited because it is her first experience in the public morals committee. The head advises them to keep a close eye on boys because they tend to carry certain material around this time. She feels confused, and the teacher takes his leave, yet she stops him. He asks if she needs something, and she questions what he meant by material. He attempts to explain it in encrypted words, but she fails to understand and forms the wrong idea. While performing her duties, she notices Honda, and something sticks out of his bag, making her suspicious. She calls out to him asking what it is, and he takes it out and informs her that it is an adult manga. She already sees it, yet he does not need to brandish it like a proud collector unveiling rare treasure, turning her face crimson with second-hand embarrassment. She tells him she will be confiscating it. He questions whether she means she wants to use it herself, and she curses him, mortified. She explains that confiscating it means it will be handed over to the teacher, and she cannot have any other motive for taking it. He tells her it is extremely perverse, and if she truly wants it, she should at least brace herself, making her sputter like a malfunctioning kettle. He states that she has his sympathy, and that collecting such degenerate material must be difficult. She urges him to listen to her, and annoyed, she tries to snatch it, but he dodges. She questions why he is trying so hard to protect it. He tells her he needs to keep hold of it, and giving it up would leave Suzuki. She remarks that this is not the time to act cool. Yukari sees Mako from the classroom and wonders if they are playing tag. Other girls join in, and she reveals that observing her is incredibly entertaining, and even in middle school she was a riot and once caused a fire. She chases after him, and the teacher warns her not to run in the hall, and she apologizes. He realizes he has seen her before, and he slips on a banana peel and falls. She becomes delighted, and she also slips and falls. She injures herself. Honda lifts her, asking if she is all right, and carries her to the infirmary. The nurse remarks that she should know not to run in the hallway, and she apologizes. He informs them that his job here is done and leaves. She runs after him again, and the nurse questions whether she heard what she just said. Honda's friends, Yamada and Suzuki, search for him, wondering if he has gone home already. They find him, and Yamada inquires what he is doing all the way there, and he is also with a girl. It appears he has unintentionally captured the heart of another woman. Yamada remarks that he is right, and way back in middle school he offered everyone a helping hand, yet he is as blunt and honest as a person can be. Suzuki comments that his straightforward nature shatters hearts like nothing else. Mako catches her breath and responds that he ran into a dead end. She thanks him for taking her to the infirmary, but she wants him to hand her that book quietly. He expresses his admiration that she chased him all this way and asks if she wishes to read it. She stammers that nothing in that book interests her, and she charges at him. But he climbs the fence wall, and she calls him a coward. He replies that he will resort to any means, and it is for Suzuki. She tells him he is a fool if he thinks she will stop, and he accidentally catches a glimpse of her panties, reacting like someone witnessing forbidden ancient treasure. She commands him not to look. Her foot slips, and she falls on top of him. She stands up and sees his hands on her. Both of them scream, and he finally remembers that she is the girl with the blazer, and in his panic, he behaves inappropriately. Her face turns red, and she throws him away and questions what is wrong with him. Then she runs off. He's stunned that what he felt was only a fraction of her strength, and even more stunned by something else. The teacher asks if it was really that amazing, and he replies that he'll never forget it. Sensei reminds him that he won't forget what Honda has in his bag, and only then does our guy notices the teacher. Mocha returns to class, and Yukari asks what happened. Near tears, she tries to explain, then realizes in horror that he was that pervert. Later at home, Suzuki calls and asks about the girl and whether he got a confession. He insists he didn't. Suzuki says he and Yamada were sure Honda had broken another heart. Honda admits his adult manga was confiscated, leaving Suzuki speechless. Meanwhile, Mako fumes. He had given her the runaround, yet she still let him slip away. Their first impression was awful. She was a bit glad he took her to the infirmary, but she's not interested in him. Her heart definitely didn't skip a beat. The next day, someone tells Honda that Mako wants to see him, and he realizes she's the girl from yesterday. He explains that the manga was taken by the student counselor, but she says she's not here for that. She apologizes for falling on him the day before and thanks him for taking her to the infirmary, handing him a small gift. He blurts out that she looked like a maniac swinging her blazer around, though she's actually pretty nice. She could lose some weight, but adds an indecent comment. She punches him in the face, stunned and furious, completely lost for words. Suzuki reads something while the girls feel head over heels for him. What he is reading is an erotic novel, though. The girls greet him and inquire what he is reading. He replies that it is a tale of love. They feel impressed and ask if they can take a peek, but he refuses, explaining that they are not mature enough. He adds that they should ask again once they have matured a little. They chuckle that he speaks boldly and he is the same age as them. Yamada feels annoyed that he is reading again, and Honda responds that it must be an erotic novel. Yamada remarks that they are familiar with what Suzuki is like, but ignorance is bliss sometimes. He looks at Honda and feels shocked that he is going to sleep. Honda replies that he has a whole minute to take a nap, and Yamada should wake him at the bell. He comments that Honda sleeps as hard as he does everything else, and he cannot believe he is asleep already. The bell rings, and he gets up, and Yamada's hand stings from hitting him too much. Honda forgets his textbook, and Miyuki informs him he can share with her. He thanks her and falls asleep again. The teacher calls him out and instructs him to read. He reads correctly, and then the teacher asks Yamada. He writes a note for Miyuki apologizing for ruining her textbook. She feels touched by his words. The teacher talks about birth rate problems. Yamada thinks that before he starts worrying about having children, he will need an actual girlfriend to reach that point. He sees a couple flirting, and he becomes jealous and wishes it were him. Honda feels shocked by his words, and he asks if he does not want one since they are already in high school. Suzuki replies that he is right, and Yamada inquires if Suzuki had a girlfriend in middle school, and he explains that she ended up fleeing from him. They ask why she ran away. He reveals that he begged her to let him smell her underwear, and they reel back as if he has confessed to an ancient forbidden ritual. He continues that he is no longer interested in girls, and Yamada thinks he is overdoing it. He asks if Yamada thinks so, and he replies that he does, and asks if he wants to know his type. She needs to be cute and as girly as possible, and light and soft as a cloud. He then asks Honda his type, and Honda seems confused. Yamada thinks that even someone with zero filter like Honda appears uncertain. Suzuki responds that does not mean he is fine with anyone, and inquires what type of breasts he likes, and Honda replies he likes huge ones, stating it with the sincerity of someone declaring a favorite seasonal fruit. He asks about hair, and Honda replies he likes undyed hair. Beyond that, he would be worried if she were weak, and he wants someone strong. The scene shifts to Mako, and the girls greet her. One of the students says she is cool as always, and another says she would give anything to be like her. She reads a book, and Yukari informs her that she is holding it upside down. She becomes startled, and the girls surround Yukari, asking about her hair and playing with it. The guy inquires what she is doing and questions if she is photosynthesizing. She asks a guy what he is reading, and he explains it to her. Everyone adores Yukari. She asks Mako what happened to her, and she has not moved at all. She replies that it is nothing, and Yukari remarks that it is creepy when she actually behaves like a girl. She calls Yukari rude and reveals that she always acts like a girl, and she inquires if it is not obvious from the way she speaks. Yukari blurts that it is not girly at all. Mako asks how she can remark something so cruel with a straight face. The girls ask Yukari if she was talking with Mako just now, and they feel amazed that she can do anything. One girl says she can't talk to Mako at all, and another believes that she is always composed, mature, strict, and hard to approach. Yukari, baffled, blurts out that Mako is actually a total mess, leaving everyone confused. In class, all eyes are on Yukari as she reads flawlessly in English. Later in the bathroom, her friend admits she didn't expect Yukari to be so fluent and asks why. Yukari explains that English is essential for her future and that she's even preparing for an international exam. Her friend comments that Yukari hardly seems like a mess. The girl offers Yukari some Pocky. She accepts gratefully. Another classmate offers her something too. Soon the boys join in, handing her snacks and treats, and Yukari happily notes how nice everyone is. Watching this, Mako thinks this must be what it looks like when people feed a stray cat. Mako has been feeling strange these past few days. She's constantly out of sorts, and whenever she remembers falling on Honda, her heart pounds like a panicked cartoon mascot. One day she overhears some girls talking about blood pressure. Curious, she interrupts and asks for an explanation about high blood pressure. The girl is touched by her seriousness and agrees to teach her, and Mako diligently writes everything down. When morning classes end, she goes to buy lunch. At the cafeteria, Yamada asks Honda what he'll do about the damaged textbook, and Honda says he'll just buy a replacement. As he reaches for a milk carton, his hand brushes someone else's. It's Yukari. She asks if he likes strawberry milk too. He blushes, thinking she's cute, and says he buys it all the time. She's surprised, since she rarely sees boys who like sweets. Mako spots Honda, and when he sees her, he asks who she is. She reintroduces herself, and he finally remembers she's from the Public Morals Committee. Suzuki asks about her as well. Honda can't really blame her for just doing her job, and Mako feels awkward under the attention. Honda reminds Suzuki not to scare people on their first meeting. Meanwhile, Yamada tells Yukari he has a bit of a sweet tooth, and introduces himself. She introduces herself back and invites him out. He agrees, saying he's free this weekend. When she mentions the shop they'll visit also has great beef patties. Honda overhears and says he wants to come too. Mako freezes. Yukari asks if that's okay with her. The idea of being with Honda makes her unexpectedly happy, so she agrees, though she doesn't understand why. Suzuki chimes in that he'll come as well if Honda is going, and just like that, the whole group ends up planning to go out together. Back home, Mako's sister Riko tells her that she made tea and asks if she wants some. She replies that she wants some. Riko becomes suspicious and remarks that she has been spacing out lately, and she asks if Mako is thinking about someone. Mako blushes and asks why she is imagining something so absurd. She remembers she needs to prepare for tomorrow and tells Riko not to go anywhere. She comes out wearing a dress and announces that this is what she will wear tomorrow. Riko asks if she is out of her mind, and she points out that Mako looks like a magical girl and asks what kind of store she visited. She replies while crying that she asked the clerk for something cute, and this is what he recommended. Riko feels shocked, and Mako is clearly going to need her help. She worked so hard to put the garter on. Yamada scoffs that he arrived a bit early, and there is still half an hour left. He thinks it is better than being late, especially since he is going to eat parfaits with Yukari. They arrive, and she greets him. He becomes excited, and she asks if he had to wait long, and he replies that he just arrived. She looks happy as well. Suzuki also arrives on time, and Yamada notices that Honda is still not here, and he considers calling him. He arrives at that moment and apologizes. Yamada asks where he was, and he replies that he woke up at 10:45 and saw that his bike tire was flat, so he had to run. He asks if 10:45 was not 15 minutes ago and if his house is not 40 minutes away by bike. Honda tells them they should go now, but Yamada replies that they cannot go anywhere because Honda is soaked in sweat. Yukari feels amazed to see the shop and calls it cute. The atmosphere inside feels pleasant, and Honda becomes excited for the meet. Suzuki tells him not to be impatient, and Yamada stops him. He says it must be inconvenient to leave for the restroom from the middle seat, and Suzuki feels confused, but then he understands. Yukari suggests they get lunch first, and Yamada feels too excited sitting next to her. Mako's heart thumps like crazy. The meal is served, and they feel amazed. Everyone praises the food, and Mako peeks at Honda, and she thinks that now that they are face to face like this, she needs to say something. She tries to speak, but as she watches Honda eat, she can't bring herself to interrupt. Yukari announces that since lunch is over, it's time for parfaits. Suzuki scans the menu and notices the jumbo parfait. If 2 people finish it in 90 minutes, it's free. Yukari thinks the idea is absurd, and Mako is horrified that it even has cutlets in it. Honda, amazed that it contains meat, considers it seriously. When Suzuki asks if they should order it, Honda immediately says yes, shocking everyone. They're even more surprised when the waitress explains that only 2 people can compete at a time. Honda wants to try it anyway. Yukari gets an idea and suggests that Mako team up with him. Mako blushes, and Honda begs her to join him. Her heart pounds, and she agrees. He thanks her as the waitress goes to prepare the massive dessert. When the jumbo parfait arrives, Mako is stunned by its size. Honda leaves one side for her and tells her to dig in. She stammers, asking what's wrong with his stomach, but he challenges her, asking if she's going to back out so easily. Meanwhile, Yukari and Yamada enjoy their normal parfaits. Yamada asks why Suzuki ordered such a bizarre one, and Suzuki argues that there's no point in it being on the menu if nobody tries it. He takes a bite, immediately gives up, and offers some to Yukari. She tries it and reacts in shock, then offers Yamada a taste. He agrees, thinking of it as an indirect kiss. Back at the challenge, Mako devours the parfait like a machine. Honda teases her, asking what happened to her complaints about it being ridiculous. She admits it's too good to ignore and wonders how she got dragged into this. Suzuki doubts they can finish it with just the two of them. A crowd gathers, and even the staff watches in disbelief. Yukari is amazed, and Yamada points out that Honda and Mako haven't even noticed the audience. Suzuki cheers them on and tells them to eat his parfait too. He begs Yamada to help him finish the rest, and Yamada, annoyed, tells him to just leave it. Yukari reminds him that the parfait costs 850 yen, and wasting it would be disrespectful. Panicked, Yamada agrees to help. Everyone ends up eating, and the group manages to win the challenge. The crowd applauds. The staff rewards them with a full year of free parfaits, and they gratefully accept. Mako, exhausted, slumps over, and Yukari hugs her, praising her for the victory. She responds that she has fallen for her again, and hearing it does not make her happy. Honda asks why the two of them look so worn out, and Suzuki and Yamada explain that they were fighting their own battle. He calls Wakamiya and thanks her, and she truly helped him. She blushes and replies that she really did not, and he hands her the voucher. He remarks that he got everything he wanted, so she can keep it. He says excitedly that he has never seen a girl eat as much as she did. She replies that she got carried away. He notices something on her face and picks it up and eats it. Her face turns crimson, and she passes out. After school ends, Mako sits there, frustrated. Later that night at home, Riko wakes up after hearing a thud. She opens her door and finds Mako in the hall, asking what she's doing. Mako stutters, stepping gently, and tells Riko she shouldn't be up so late. It's a school night. Riko points out that if she's saying that, then why is Mako taking so long to get ready? Mako tries to come up with an excuse. Annoyed, Riko tells her to get to the point. Mako finally admits she's not mentally prepared. Riko calls her slow, and Mako confesses that something is troubling her. No matter how hard she tries, she can't figure it out. Riko urges her to speak clearly, and Mako reveals that she keeps thinking about someone and can't get him out of her mind. Her heart pounds, her head gets foggy, and she has no idea why. She even asked Yukari, who apparently understood the problem but refused to tell her, saying it wouldn't help and that Mako would figure it out if she was honest with her feelings. Riko remarks that Yukari is genuinely thinking of her and asks how much more obvious it needs to be. She wonders if her sister has any idea what's happening to her. Mako guesses it's high blood pressure. Riko can't believe it. She asks if he's always on Mako's mind and if her heart pounds when she thinks of him. Mako admits she's right. Riko asks if there's anything else, and Mako, blushing, explains that her head gets foggy, she feels restless, and before she even notices, Honda is all she's thinking about, almost like she likes him or something. Riko tells her it was obvious from the start. Mako asks if she really thinks she likes that total pervert. Riko stammers that pervert or not, Mako's feelings have already grown past the point of no return. Mako finally realizes she likes him and thanks her. Riko congratulates her, still unsure what she even did. Their mother scolds them from down the hall, and they both apologize. The next day at school, Suzuki asks what's up with Yamada and why he looks so happy. He replies that he got Yukari's line. He's overly excited just from seeing her messages, and Suzuki tells him to calm down. Yukari's friend asks if it is true she has been talking to boys from other classes. She tells her about Yamada. While they are talking, Mako is busy thinking. She has finally realized her feelings, and now that she has done that, what is she supposed to do next? She realizes she has to confess. They notice that she looks grave. The weather is gloomy, and Honda opens his locker and finds a letter. Suzuki and Yamada tease him, and he tells them to knock it off. They do not know what this letter is, and he realizes as Yukari and Mako arrive. He turns back, and Mako's heart skips a beat. He calls her name, and she asks what he wants. He questions if she was the one who left him this letter. Her face turns red, and she grabs him and takes him away. Yukari cheers her, and both his friends look dumbfounded. Outside, he tells her it is raining, and she replies she knows, and why did he ask her that? He tells her it is because he wanted to know if she left it. She tries to explain but stops and finds a spot for shelter. They sit under a shed, and the rain is not going to stop for a while. She cannot believe it started suddenly, and she forgot to bring an umbrella too. She glances at him and tells him to stop stripping. He tells her that if they wear wet clothes, they will catch a cold. She is dumbfounded, and he reminds her she will catch a cold too. He offers Wakamiya-san his jersey and tells her to wait. Meanwhile, Riko wonders if Sis is going to be alright. Any letter she writes will look like a duel request, and he will withdraw from her. She becomes gloomy, and Riko's friend notices her expression. Meanwhile, back to them, Mako refuses and says she does not know about any letter. He informs her that her name is on the letter, but he realizes it is from a different person with the same name. and since she is the only one he knows. She asks if it is a love letter, and he replies he has no idea, and it just says to come to the gym at 6. She asks if it is for a confession, but he has no idea. She notices that between the cute sticker and the neat writing, it is clearly from a girl. He tells her that since he was called, he will go. She creates a scenario in her head, and from fear of losing him, she musters the courage and states that she has something to tell him. Mako musters the courage to confess to him. For a moment, he is stunned, and then thanks her. He tells her the rain has stopped and leaves. She waves goodbye to him, but then grabs him, realizing what he did. Honda is confused, and she stammers that she just said she likes him. He asks what she wants, and she informs him it means she wants to go out with him. But he protests and refuses. She is shocked, and her face turns gloomy. He tells her it does not matter if she likes him because he barely knows anything about her. Even if he were to go out with her right now, there would not be any love from his side, and a half-hearted relationship will only hurt her, so it is a no. He continues that, though he is pretty familiar with her figure, he earns a kick to the face. She is disgusted by the comment. Honda says the only thing he really knows about Mako is her chest, then points at her and tells her he wants to know everything about her. She agrees, telling him to buckle up. That night, Riko asks how things went. When Mako says she confessed, Riko is shocked it happened so fast. Mako explains that Honda said he likes her chest. Riko is stunned and asks if Mako is really okay with a guy like him. Mako says she's ready. Riko, terrified, asks, ready for what? Mako tells her she's ready to bear everything about herself. If she wants to know him, she must do everything she can. Riko warns her not to go that far and says she should value her body. Mako is confused. Meanwhile, at Honda's home, his mother asks if he really rejected a confession. He says he did, explaining he doesn't want a half-hearted relationship that might hurt Mako. The next morning, Suzuki wonders how things ended last night, while Yamada insists nothing immoral could have happened. They notice Honda is unusually late. He eventually arrives half asleep, saying he was up all night, which leads the boys to assume the wrong thing. Elsewhere, Mako tells everything to Yukari, who celebrates for her. When Mako asks if Yukari had known all along what was bothering her, Yukari admits she did, and only kept quiet because she thought it would be funny. She declares she's ready for the next step. At break, the entire class watches as Mako invites Honda to lunch. He accepts. On the rooftop, Suzuki and Yamada spy on them. Mako announces she'll tell Honda everything about herself. She gives her full name. Honda gives his as well. She asks why, since she already knew, and he answers he already knew hers too. From the shadows, Suzuki whispers impressions of their voices until Yamada tells him to stop. They suddenly hear Yukari, who startles them. She brushes it off by saying it's normal to hear people during lunch. Mako continues. She's 164 centimeters tall, her feet are 24 centimeters, her vision is 1420, and her weight is none of his business. Honda says he estimated about 50 kilograms when she fell on him, and she cuts him off. She then reveals her size. He says he already figured that out. She asks if he's getting all this, and he says yes. She moves on to family. A father, a mother, and a little sister. Honda replies he has one mother and one father. Mako lights up, saying they have something in common. They have the same number of parents. Honda agrees, noting that having 5 to 10 moms would be strange. Meanwhile, Yukari explains the whole situation to Yamada and Suzuki. Suzuki finally understands. Honda wanted to know Mako, so they came here alone. Yukari says Honda is a good guy and genuinely serious about Mako's feelings, even if he doesn't act like it. Back on the rooftop, Mako starts listing even more details, but Honda gently stops her, saying he already knows her well enough, and suggests they start as friends. Mako happily agrees, and they shake hands. That night, Mako tells Riko they decided to start as friends. Riko is stunned. At the Kendo club, Mako announces she'll be joining them to help prepare for the upcoming tournament. She says she looks forward to working with everyone. Earlier in class, she tells Koiki she knows nothing about Kendo and can't help her, but Koiki insists she at least listen. Koiki explains that next week is the summer Kendo tournament, but a second year had to be hospitalized, leaving them one member short. Without a full team, they can't compete in the team bracket. Mako asks if they can't just do the solo events, but Koiki says their third-year captain will retire after summer, and she wanted them to compete together as a team at least once more. Hearing this, Mako agrees to help. Koike thanks her, and Mako promises to use every ounce of her strength. Yukari laughs quietly. Their captain, Okazaki, greets and thanks Mako. She promises to give 110%, and Koike is relieved. Okazaki adds that she's looking forward to seeing Iba's return, since Mako's bloodlust is too strong. Honda appears and calls out to Mako. Surprised to see her, he thought she was here to challenge the dojo, but she explains she's only helping. Koiki asks if they know each other. Mako says they do, and cuts Honda off before he can say anything dumb. Okazaki starts by teaching footwork. Mako wonders why they aren't starting with swings, but Okazaki says swings come next. Mako keeps looking around, and when asked why, she asks when assassins will appear. Okazaki reminds her that Kendo doesn't work like that. Once Mako gets the footwork down, they move to swings. Following instructions, Mako swings with full power, shocking everyone. Koike asks if she's really a beginner, and Mako says she's just swinging with all her strength. Honda admires her spirit and tells her to put on armor. He wants to spar. The others think it's too early, and the male captain warns her that most of her strikes miss the armor and go toward the face. If she keeps that up, she'll kill someone. Mako insists she isn't aiming for the armor. He says it's a shame because her strength is remarkable. He asks if she'll join next week's tournament and says she'll need intense training. He also wants to review his fundamentals and suggests they train together. She asks if that's okay, and Koiki reminds him he should be busy with the men's team. He says he's in the singles bracket, so he's free. Koiki is stunned because he's the strongest first year. Honda remembers last Sunday's matches. He forgot his lunch, grew hungry. Suzuki said he'd take the starting position because the girls would cheer for him, and then Honda lost. 5 days remain until the tournament. Honda and Mako train hard, endlessly swinging their swords. A girl from Honda's class asks if he's close with Mako. 4 days remain. Mako admits Kendo is harder than she thought. Honda hands her a drink to stay hydrated. She happily takes the cold tea, and he watches her with a bright expression. 3 days remain. Riko asks if she's subbing for the Kendo team. Mako confirms and says she's been training with Honda. Riko is stunned it's that guy again and says training together means they're getting closer. Mako's face turns red. 2 days remain. Koiki tells Okazaki the tournament is almost here. She comments on Mako's rapid progress, admitting she originally thought they had no chance of even entering. Koiki says they should keep giving their best. On the final day, Mako tells her friends she needs to sleep early. Honda lightly smacks her, saying they need a proper send-off. She cheers that they'll give everything tomorrow. Honda tells her she's been working hard and praises her. She says it's thanks to him, and suddenly realizes the weight of tomorrow, screaming. She's happy after practice, but the thought of competing hits her hard. She worries she won't be able to make Okazaki proud or win with only a few days of practice. Honda taps her again and tells her winning doesn't matter. If she's anxious, put everything into her swings and release it with full force, like he does. She agrees and says they'll do their best. 2 girls spot her and wonder if she's from Kamigyu. They don't recognize her but note that at least she has spirit. The day of the tournament arrives, and Mako finally reaches the venue. She is stunned to see so many schools participating. Koiki tells her that it is the summer tournament after all. Okazaki asks if they are feeling all right. Mako replies that she went to bed early and is in perfect shape. Suddenly, a sword strikes her, and it turns out to be the short-haired girl. Mako asks what someone from the music club is doing here. The girl yells back that she is from the Kendo club. Mako apologizes and asks why she hit her. The girl replies that Mako shouldn't have been chatting near the vending machine. At that moment, another girl appears, the leader of the short-haired girl. Yuri becomes terrified when she sees her. The leader tells her that causing trouble will not help. Okazaki recognizes the newcomer and states that she is from Tsubakigaoka. Their first match is against them. Okazaki cannot believe they have run into them, and she explains to Mako that the girls from earlier are part of that team. They are known for their strength and appear at every local tournament. Mako becomes irritated and still intends to teach that girl a lesson. Honda comments that it is unfortunate they are going against Tsubakigaoka. Koike grows nervous, and Honda and Suzuki start telling her different things at once. Okazaki tells them to speak one at a time or they will confuse her. She comforts Koike, and Mako asks why they even came here. Honda tells her that he is looking forward to her performance and that she needs to show him what she can do. Okazaki explains that when she was in her first year, the Kendo club was extremely strong and intense, and the girls in her class could not endure it, leaving only her. Mako feels impressed, and she replies that it did not bother her because she loved Kendo deeply. All their upperclassmen retired at once, so only she and one underclassman were left. Since then, she has hoped she would compete in a team tournament, and this year Koiki joined. Now, at the last moment, Mako has arrived, and she cannot believe how happy she is, and she thanks Mako. Mako, with tears, tells her that she will win for certain. Meanwhile, the Tsubakigaoka girls receive word that their first match is against Kamigyu, and Eureka declares that she will defeat them. Yukino tells her to avoid carelessness and remarks that she likes her enthusiasm but she has many openings. The first match begins, and it is Koike versus Nishiko. Mako worries if Koike will be alright. Surprisingly, Koike wins the first round. Mako is shocked by her ability. The second match is Mako versus Eureka. Eureka thinks it will be entertaining since Mako is merely a temporary member and an amateur. She wants to show her how skilled she is. They both attack with fierce intensity. Yukino observes the match in silence. Everyone is amazed because neither backs down. Eureka grows confused and wonders if Mako is truly an amateur. Her movements are sloppy and she believes it might be a trap. Mako cannot read techniques at all and can only charge forward. Meanwhile, in the men's team, the girls cheer for Suzuki. He feels that he will not lose and rather that he cannot lose here. The girls cheer for him, and they hear a strange bird-like sound and grow confused. Eureka becomes frustrated because she cannot read Mako, and all Mako does is aim too high. Okazaki states that Mako's opponent is far more skilled, but she is overwhelming her with sheer strength. Eureka is experienced and tries to read her movements, but since Mako's motions are sloppy, they are difficult to interpret. Honda watches and remembers telling her that aiming too high is dangerous. He reminds her that she should avoid unsafe strikes. He is surprised he survived their first bout. He teaches her a technique if she cannot land a hit, an overhead strike, a finishing technique that leaves her defenseless, but with enough pressure it might succeed. Mako wins the match. Okazaki thanks them and says even if they do not win the tournament, she will never forget this. Mako becomes emotional. Honda praises her and states that her overhead strike is better than his. She tells him it is just a coincidence, and only thanks to his training. Eureka storms over angrily and tells her it was luck and continues complaining. Yukino tells Mako that Eureka has some regrets and asks Mako to consider joining their Kendo club. She appreciates her talent. Koike tells her not to try because Mako will join their club. They begin arguing and Honda intervenes and tells them she is too busy collecting manga. Everyone stands stunned. She becomes embarrassed and she hits him. The chairman calls for a meeting and apologizes for the sudden summons. He asks if they are aware of the inappropriate publications on the grounds and claims these troublemakers are staining the name of the institution. The vice chairman thinks he is exaggerating, and when he sees the teacher confiscate the magazines, he feels embarrassed for them. That is why he has decided to give this assignment to Mako to watch over these students while they discipline themselves at the temple. She is shocked, and he informs her that he learned she displayed exceptional strength at the Kendo tournament and wants her for this. She replies she will give it her best. He continues that he is not so cruel as to send her alone, so he will send backup, and she is stunned. Honda cannot believe the drill is happening at Suzuki's temple. Yamada wonders how he became trapped in this, and then there are these guys. The weeb rambles about something and tells Yamada he must be searching for the club host. His name is Nakasone, and his eyes appear lifeless. Yamada grows shocked and asks if he is the legend Nakasone, and the weeb tells him to bow his head. Suzuki wonders where he has heard that name before. Honda asks who he is. Nakasone states that he is neither God nor Buddha. The weeb calls them arrogant and reveals that he is the Dark King Nakasone and that all the confiscated photos can be traced back to him. Honda becomes shocked and tells him he should be punished, not staying at a temple. The girls tell them they did good work coming this far. Mako explains they have been gathered here to overcome their bad habits, and another committee member says they will undergo strict training for the next 3 days. The Gorilla Girl introduces herself as Karen and says she is here on behalf of the Public Morals Committee. Honda remarks that her outfit will not help discourage bad behavior. The old man appears behind them and says he does not know about their doctrine. It is Suzuki's father, and he welcomes them. For the next 3 days, they will undergo discipline training that he personally crafted. Before that, he wants to clarify his doctrine. Just as an eye is paid for by an eye, bad habits can only be corrected by facing them. Karen wonders if this will actually work. Mako thinks this temple is a questionable choice. Day 1 starts. They commence with meditation. Honda notices that the committee members are participating as well. Mako replies that he is right and she is here for the experience. Suzuki observes that Mako looks tense and says his father did a good job preparing the exercises. His father turns on music to help clear their minds. Karen questions how they are supposed to meditate with this. After meditating, he asks if they are feeling better. Nakasone replies he feels the opposite. Next is cleaning. Honda tells them he can clean more than Mako. Nakasone is taking some suspicious photos, though it looks more like he's desperately trying to capture the perfect artistic angle on soap bubbles. Karen slips on a wet floor. Suzuki's father says that no temple would be complete without a waterfall, which is perfect for cooling off and for accidental slapstick. Suzuki tells Yamada to try not to die from laughing. Honda asks Mako why she is in a swimsuit, and she replies that the monk insisted. He asks what kind of monk makes that request. Mako gulps, realizing this is trickier than she thought. But she cannot let the Public Morals Committee's image falter. Her top nearly slips, and the would-be voyeurs linger with suspicious anticipation. Instead, Karen's swimsuit strap snaps with a comedic pop due to her physique, and 3 guys faint in exaggerated fashion. Panic erupts. They thought the day would never end, but now they've accidentally gained free time. Suzuki declares that self-reflection is forbidden, and Honda promptly says he is going to sleep. The weeb nearly faints, and Suzuki mutters that his father is cruel. Meanwhile, Yamada daydreams about Yukari. The weeb asks Nakasone what to do, and he waves him off, muttering that he is almost finished. Yamada wants to go home. Everyone here feels unhinged. In the girls' room, Karen mutters that even the head monk is odd, and Mako looks horrified. Karen explains there are only 2 of them here, and this is a trial they must complete. If Mako needs anything, she should not hesitate. Mako admits she has a question. She asks if Karen is really a girl. Karen gives her a deadpan stare and says she appreciates her honesty, but warns that if she asks again, there will be no mercy. The second day begins. The monk announces a new exercise, image tracing, but with a strange twist. To subdue their bad habits, they'll be using adult manga. Everyone gasps. Mako mutters that the art is good, but still. Yamada looks like he might wilt, and Honda comments that Suzuki's father is talented. Suzuki nearly faints, realizing it is his father's work, which he has unknowingly followed for years. The monk apologizes for not telling him sooner. The weeb and Nakasone kneel in dramatic reverence, and Nakasone gives Suzuki's father a tight, over-the-top hug. Karen surveys the chaos and sighs that this is ridiculous. The monk mentions a deadline tomorrow and asks for someone with pen experience. Nakasone volunteers, reveals his pen name, and once again everyone kneels as if he is a legendary artist. Honda interrupts, yelling for them to stop worshipping and get to work. Honda, Mako, and Karen vow to do their best. 40 minutes in, Nakasone looks gloomy, and Yamada asks if he is okay. He admits he has fallen into a slump. Now it is the turn of the source materials team. Honda jokes that he has field experience with Mako's strength and insists they leave it to him. Mako glares and warns him to stop giving everyone the wrong idea. Honda shrugs, claiming it is the only way to help. She groans, but goes along with it, while everyone else tries not to faint or laugh. They instruct him to make some adjustments, and Karen positions herself protectively to ensure Mako's comfort. Honda yelps and is promptly shoved aside in a slapstick manner. She points at Nakasone and insists he needs hands-on practice, and he nods seriously. In a chaotic montage, he fumbles, everyone gasps, and a string of mishaps follow. At a later date, the chairman is shocked that instead of discipline, the temple retreat has resulted in the creation of even more questionable material. Mako tells the chairman it is his fault for choosing that temple. The discipline training ends up accidentally creating a new artistic genre. Honda expresses his irritation regarding the extracurricular activities. This does not feel like a summer break. Suzuki wishes something exciting would occur. Yukari gets an idea and proposes that they should all go to the beach. Both Mako and Honda grow excited, although for different reasons. Even Yamada and Suzuki become eager for their own reasons. Riko takes a shower and notices someone in the tub and screams. It turns out to be Mako, who explains she is practicing her swimming. She tells her to stop startling her. Mako informs Riko that they are going to the beach and that Honda will be coming as well, so she needs to be prepared to swim a little. Riko thinks it might be better if she cannot swim. She can use the opportunity to grow closer to Honda. She becomes excited and decides teasing him is her next goal. Riko asks if she owns any swimsuits, and Mako pulls out her school swimsuit. Riko refuses and insists she cannot wear it. Meanwhile, at Honda's home, he asks his mother where his swimming trunks are. She tells him they should be in the closet and asks if he is going to the beach. He responds that he is going this week with his friends. They feel pleased for him, and he reveals he intends to swim across the entire strait. His mother asks if any girls are coming. His father urges her to give him a break, explaining that he is at the age where he deserves privacy. She replies that this is why she is asking. He says Mako is coming, and they ask who she is. He explains that she is the girl he mentioned before, the one he rejected. She chased him relentlessly to confiscate a manga. After that, she became a ninja. They listen intently. Yamada feels ecstatic and receives a message from Yukari about seashell collecting. He starts searching for a rake, and his sister questions why he needs it. Meanwhile, Suzuki chants to himself and wishes to flirt at the beach. His father overhears and says he wants sashimi. The last time his temple was destroyed, he lost his manuscript. The next day, they all arrive. Yukari feels excited because Mako is going to buy a swimsuit. Mako hopes Honda is not inconveniencing himself by assisting her. Honda responds it is fine because they do not have Kendo today, and they need to stop by the hardware store. Yamada agrees and Honda tells Suzuki it is too early to cry. Yukari whispers to Mako that they should find something good. She asks Honda whether he prefers fashionable swimsuits. He responds that he likes them. She instructs him to brace himself. The three girls feel dumbfounded. Mako needs to find something quickly. Yukari selects options and remarks that there is nothing wrong with a black swimsuit. Mako asks if it is too bold. Yukari hands her another one with more coverage. She says it is better, but Mako's chest is still very exposed. Yukari, confused, offers something too extreme. Mako, flustered, asks if she is enjoying this, and Yukari chuckles. Mako cannot decide. Yukari says it is because she is overthinking, and Mako says everything Yukari shows her is too much. She remembers Honda said he likes stylish outfits, but she feels too embarrassed. Yukari says she should choose something she personally likes. Anything she feels confident in will look good. Meanwhile, with the boys, Honda notices Yamada is extremely excited. Yamada says tomorrow he intends to collect seashells for Yukari. Honda says he has never seen him this serious. He asks Suzuki why he looks dejected, and Suzuki says life is pain, and he needs a spear to catch fish. Honda asks why, and if hands will not do. Suzuki says ordinary people cannot do that. Yamada gets everything he needs. Honda is pleased and says tomorrow will be a good day for him. Suzuki reveals that Mako is coming after all, and asks Honda how he feels. Honda says that when he first met her, he thought she was a weirdo, but she has courage and proved it at the Kendo tournament. What he means is that she is genuinely cool. Yamada thinks Honda is extremely tense. They regroup with Mako and Yukari. She asks if they have been waiting long, and they say they just arrived. Yamada says he is looking forward to tomorrow. She is too. Mako tells Honda she found a swimsuit, and he feels pleased. Yukari says there were many trials and errors, but they found one. She tells him to prepare himself because he will see a new side of her. He says he will be waiting. Meanwhile, a girl watches and informs someone on the phone that Honda is going to the beach tomorrow.